Hello and welcome to episode number 63 of Girlstreamers. Girlstreamers is a podcast bringing you the girl streamers that you know and love. Girlstreamers is a community that supports and promotes girls that stream. We are a bi-weekly podcast and we'll be introducing you to some amazing girl gamers and allow you, the viewer, to get to know some of your favorite streamers. My name is Nymphadora, and I apologize for my crappy voice tonight. I will be your host during this interview, and tonight we have a very special guest who is a huge supporter of Girlstreamers. We will be interviewing Brucewaynebrady tonight, and if there is any time at the end, we will take questions from the audience in the channel. Please make sure to fill out the Google Doc. If you have questions, just type !podcast in the channel. This is a live podcast, but we will also be available for download on all your favorite podcast listening sites, and you can watch the video portion on YouTube. What's up, Bruce?
What's up? How are you doing?
I'm good. I am still working on getting it set up for, I would really like to have the closed caption for both my audio and other people's audio for the podcast, but I'm still working on that. Yeah, so how's your week been? Excuse me.
My week's been kind of hectic. I actually, first part of the week was wrapping up a vacation, which was super chill.
Nice.
Came back from vacation and just got like thrown into the fire, and it's been like nonstop. It's kind of like the day before vacation for me, and always the day after I get. Here's all the work at once. Just go. So I had to work so much today. That's why I didn't today because I had to work a lot. It's just been like, can I have another vacation again? Like now?
Right.
So it's just back to business as usual. It's all.
Yeah, the hubby had to go into work today as well. So it's always fun when you have to work on the weekends. I mean, this is my work, so there you go. I don't get weekends.
See, but this is fun work. This is work because there's a process behind putting this together. So there is work to it, but it's more fun work. Something you like doing, something that you enjoy.
It is something I like doing. I do wish I didn't feel like or sound like poop. I don't feel like poop like I did yesterday, but yeah. Oh my god. So
You're good.
What did you do for your vacation? Did you go anywhere for vacation?
Well, originally I was gonna go visit a friend, but we had like a scheduling thing. Everything kind of like got pushed aside. We rescheduled that, so it became a stay. I saved some money, played some games, and I just chilled, which I haven't done in a couple of months. So it was actually pretty nice.
Nice. I don't know why, but your audio keeps cutting out. I'm trying to adjust over here. I think it's me. You don't touch anything after the problems we were having trying to get started.
I won't touch anything.
Don't touch a thing.
I'm just going to sit here and just sip my water.
I'm actually closing out Chrome, like all these Chrome tabs I have just in case. Then he so he touched all the things right earlier, and it just cut everything out. Where we both had to restart our computers because nothing wanted to work. It was yeah. He touched the things. So
I swear all I did was hit a mute button and it muted the whole program. I swear it's all I did. I'm not hitting anything. Look, just sitting on my hands.
So, how did you come up with your screen name?
Oh man, okay. So, and this goes back a while actually. So, I had a job in retail, specifically selling video games at Toys R Us. I used to actually work at Toys R Us in the video game section.
Nice.
Go figure, right? So we were really bored
Rest
one
in
day, and
peace.
yeah, pour out. I don't know. What do you Toys R Us? Pour out some Lego blocks. Can't pour out liquor. It's a toy store.
Pour out Lego blocks.
Pour out some Lego blocks. It's a family store. I don't have any sense. So I was bored one day, and we would take price tags, making different name tags, and so I took the price tag machine one day, and I started typing Bruce Wayne because I'm a huge Batman fan. In my head, it just made sense to keep going to combine Bruce Wayne and Wayne Brady because Wayne Brady's a black dude. Yeah, let's do Wayne Brady. And in my head, that became Black Man. It was just this funny thing that I laughed at. So pick this name tag. This it's literally it says Bruce Wayne, and then like in a really bootleg way, like Brady kind of on the end tagged on for like another piece of paper. Put it over my name tag. I wear that all day to see if anyone notices. And one guy in line goes, "Your name, uh, that's kind of cool. You know, Bruce Wayne is Batman's name." I said, "Are you serious? What are the chances of that?" I don't even know how I kept a straight face. I don't even know how I did. So I true story. So most people had the reaction you had. They look at my name tag and go and like smirk and wouldn't even say anything to me, or they go, "Nice, Bruce Wayne Brady," and they would say that no. And so I was like, okay, cool. And that's what I wanted was just like someone to get it and get a laugh, right? So I made that my screen name for just everything, and it's been for years. So
Oh, that is fantastic. That is fantastic. I love it. I love the backstory. It's even better than I imagined because I didn't know. I had nothing. It's like I just thought it was just because you just thought it was clever and that was it. But it's so much more than that.
yeah, yeah. There's always more with me. There's always some. Oh no, this thing happened, and yeah, there you go.
By the way, right now, pour out some Lego blocks is our title for the podcast.
I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
I like to come up with good podcast names, as you all know.
Yeah.
Um, so it's always something from the actual podcast. It's always something from the actual podcast. So where are you from?
I'm actually from Beaumont, Texas, which the best way to tell one is that's an hour east of Houston. So Houston area, pretty much.
Um, yeah. Why are you still in Texas?
Just, I mean, like, I don't have attachments to being here. I've been here a while. I've seen a lot of stuff here, but if y'all have a job, something you want me to go somewhere else, I'm open to business opportunities.
I
I love to
mean,
travel.
excuse me. I'm just saying, we all know my opinions on Texas, and I feel like no one should be in that state, but you know.
I mean, look, it's not all bad. Okay, we've got we've got Beyonce. Okay, fan. Even keep up with sports much anymore. I'm a Texans football fan, but I don't even really keep up with it anymore. But there's cool stuff. We got we got NASA. Okay? NASA's awesome.
You Tex Texans really? Really? I can't with you right now. I
I'm
can't.
not a Cowboy fan.
I can't
I'm
right
surrounded by
now.
Cowboys fans. You know what's even more okay? What's even more kind of weird for me growing up here?
It always cuts out at the important stuff, man. What's going on with your internet over there?
I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I'm looking at a full set. What the deal is?
No, he's lagging. I don't know what's going on over there.
Here, let me see if I can. I'll tell you what. Try to. I wonder if this will help out. All right. I'm not sure if that helped out or not.
Okay. Um, just don't break it again.
I promise. I won't break anything.
I'm a Dogs fan. Go Dogs. So I can't be friends with you since you're a Texans fan.
I mean, I don't even keep up with football anymore.
I'm just
I'm.
kidding.
I grew up. But I said I grew up a 49ers fan.
At least you're not a Cowboys fan.
No, no. I grew up watching the team that my uncle watched, and he was a big 49ers fan, and like all these other teams that pretty much get you kicked out of Texas for liking them. So
Right, right. If you don't like a Texas team in Texas, you get kicked out. Like it's the law. It's the law.
yeah, it's pretty much illegal.
It's the law.
I'm not supposed to even tell you this. I could be kicked out tomorrow.
I'm just giving you crap. I've been to San Antonio, and I've driven through. I hate driving through Texas. Like the cities in Texas are actually really nice to visit, but I
Hmm.
recommend flying to them, guys. Don't drive to them because
Yeah.
you'll wanna die when you drive through Texas. It is the most boring state to drive through, in my opinion.
Well, it's all flat. There's nothing to look at here. It's just flat land.
Right. It is. It's flat, and then you see a bunch of oil rigs or oil pumps. Like that's it. Like that's it. That's
Yeah.
all that Texas is.
Yeah. Anytime I go to any other place and they have any son of a hill, I'm like, ooh, there's something I don't see. I went to seriously, I mean, like it's a big deal to see this just not just boring flat plains of land. Like I went to visit a friend of mine in Seattle a couple of years ago, and I could not stop looking at like the mountains. Just being on the highway and seeing mountains.
Yeah.
Blew me
Oh,
away.
yeah.
I mean, that was enough to be like, this was worth the trip. I'm not used to seeing this at all. And it was just he was driving. I was just staring at Mount Rainier the whole time, like that's the coolest thing ever.
Well,
So,
we moved back to Southern California, and like, yeah, technically we're in a desert surrounded by mountains because that's California, but it's beautiful to me because it's something I didn't grow up with. I grew up in Georgia. So,
mhm.
yeah, we have those nice rolling hills and everything, but we didn't have like anything deserty. We didn't have, so it's like, it's all new to me, right? It's all like, just new and very pretty. It's wild to me that I literally look out my window and there's a mountain I can literally go climb. Like, I don't get that in Georgia. I can see like the Appalachians, but they're way off in the distance, right?
Yeah,
So, no, I totally feel you. I totally feel you. I love
yeah.
mountains too. I think they're beautiful. So, literally, like, I can just walk um, through the park and there's like an actual mountain to go hike up
That's the
across the
coolest thing
street
to
from
me.
me.
The more you say, the more I'm like, I wish I could open the window and just be like, there's a mountain like that direction. I open the window, I'm like, eh.
I mean, it's not a super tall mountain because it's kind of away from the Sierras, but we're about like when we go driving, I can see the snow-capped Sierras, and it's wild to me to see snow-capped mountains. I have never seen that ever in my entire life. That is just wild to me. So,
That's pretty cool.
I totally feel you
That's
on that.
yeah.
I
It's
totally
probably
feel you.
why. It's probably why I like watching things like. I think part of my vacation there was one day I was just like doing laundry, and just watching like BBC documentaries on Netflix because I'm like,
Oh, yes.
I
They're
don't see
great.
this stuff anywhere where I'm at. So like, show me all the cool stuff in the other parts of the world because there's nothing like that around here.
You know what I like to watch on BBC on Netflix is the BBC house hunting stuff, where you see all the different houses in the different areas around England.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to those shows. Like, oh, look at this little cottage in the country. Oh, it's so pretty. And it has all this land. And I'm like, oh. And they're like, oh, yes, I could totally take the train into London from here. This is perfect. We have a house and a yard, and I can get to London and go to work on time. And I'm like, why can't I have that? Why do I have to live in America?
This is when I found out you have a secret British accent. It's the first time I've heard it before.
um, I mean, I never said it was good.
Well, you mentioned about the yard and everything over there and the
I'm sorry.
houses.
It's not the yard, it's a garden. It's a
I'm sorry,
garden.
garden.
I used
Yes.
the wrong terminology.
Oh,
Excuse me.
like we're Game of Thrones characters all of a sudden.
Right? Well,
Nymphy from
oh man, I'm not wearing.
House
Oh, I do
Hufflepuff.
have a dragon on my shirt because this is our special Dragon Con shirt. So, I mean, I am Khaleesi.
There you go. House Targaryen. There you go.
Right? See? See?
Yeah, that counts.
Only the girls who went to Dragon Con got this shirt. So, this was literally limited edition. There's like 6 of us who have this shirt.
That is a super limited edition.
Well, because you can't sell this because it's the Dragon Con logo, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
So copyright. But I wanted to have a special thing, but there's nothing wrong with me making one and giving it to people. So
Right. That's
um,
cool.
Page Monster actually combined the logos for us and made this for us. So,
That's
aka
awesome.
Zilla Noises, because
From
that's
Housezilla.
from House Kaiju.
Oh, sorry. You're right. House Kaiju.
Yeah. So, what's the first game that you played that got you into the gaming world?
Oh, first game I played. Wow. First one I can remember playing, I want to say it's probably something in the arcades. It was probably straight up like Street Fighter 2. It was probably Street Fighter 2.
How did I know? Like,
It's the first one I thought of. I mean, but it's something. It's got to be something in arcades. Either that or like one of like the first, like Mario and NES, like maybe Mario like 3 or something like that. It's got to be like something old school like that.
nice. So how long have you been streaming? And what actually got you into streaming?
I have been streaming. I want to say 3 to 4 years in some kind of fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what actually got me into streaming, like actually before Twitch and all the communities that we're a part of now, uh, I've always been big into like podcasts and listening to podcasts. And my job involves a lot of driving all day, and I'm in and out of stores all day, so I listen to podcasts a lot. Excuse me. Used to be music, but music only gets me so far. Sometimes I just want to hear something else,
Right.
and so I started getting into podcasts of things like movies, games, and stuff. And at the time, IGN podcasts were starting to get kind of big, and they were having different ones for different game systems and everything. And I think their PlayStation podcast Beyond. I think one time they mentioned on the IGN site. This is not a thing on the site anymore, but they had a community. They had actually their own like social network called My IGN.
Which is how you and Dennis met, right?
So I met Dennis and a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is where Dennis and I became friends. And this was maybe like around 2010, 2011. Like it's like years ago. So they talked about My IGN, and I was like, I'll check that out. This sounds kind of interesting. I didn't know what it really was. It was kind of like a hybrid of like kind of like a Facebook MySpace, where you had your own profile, and on your profile you could have your own blog. You could post a blog and write about stuff. People could see when you posted a new blog, and someone could come by and read your blog and comment on it. And uh, they had like a wall where you could leave comments on someone's page and say how you're doing, whatever, and
Right,
you
right.
could list the games you like, all that kind of stuff.
I vaguely
So
remember my IGN. I didn't really get into it much, but yeah, I vaguely remember it because it was right around that time of like G4 TV and all of that stuff. And I know they
yep.
talked about it on G4 and everything. G4 was totally beyond it was beyond its years. I loved like Attack of the Show and stuff like that. I absolutely
Yeah.
love stuff like that. But yeah, because they're sponsored by IGN, I believe. So I remember vaguely, vaguely remember my IGN.
Yeah, I know like the IGN staff would work with them sometimes, be on their shows, do stuff with them.
Yeah.
So I started going to my IGN, start finding like people in the community that like they post. You could click a thing and have what was like a digital game library that showed the games you play or the games you're interested in.
Oh,
So if you click,
like Goodreads for games.
yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
So
Nice.
if you clicked on my page, you can see like, oh, he plays like Bloodborne and like just whatever I had listed as the games I like, so you can see who plays what. And at the time, Katie, which is Chrono Katie, uh, this is when Twitch was still Justin TV. Katie, I think it was just becoming Twitch around this time, but Katie was streaming, and she was someone that I met from my IGN. And I remember just late one night, she was playing Kingdom Hearts 2. And I'm a huge Kingdom Hearts fan. I love that series.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went to go, okay, I've never just watched someone play a game. It seemed like the most random thing. I was like, why would I just watch someone play a game I've already played before? But I'll sit in the chat and just talk and hang out. And I was probably in there for like 2 hours talking to Katie, watching her play this game I've played myself,
Right?
but just hanging out. Like, okay, cool. Never thought nothing else too much about it. So later, Katie started late night gamers on Twitch, which was Team LNG, and it was one channel that had a revolving cast, like Girlstreamers is, one channel with a revolving cast of different streamers. And I started watching late night gamers, and LNG was one of the first channels that I was really like actively checking out and participating in the chat and following. And from there, I still was like, Twitch is cool, and I started following other channels, but I never thought about myself really doing it. Uh, my friend John decided he wanted to do a stream for his two stepsons because they have Crohn's and colitis disease.
Oh,
Yeah, if you don't know, Crohn's and colitis is the best I can kind of summarize it. It's a disease. It kind of
it's
attacks your
indigestion, stomach issues to the max. Like, way, way to the max. Y'all know I
yeah,
joke about me going to the pooper all the time. Well, it's way worse for people who have Crohn's, and because I thought I had Crohn's for a while there.
yeah,
So yeah, yeah, Crohn's is not. It's not fun at all.
yeah.
It's a rough disease to handle too. Like, it's
Hmm.
not easy to take care of.
Yeah, and he got involved with the CCFA, which is the Crohn's Colitis Foundation, I think, of America. But they had a team of people that were streaming to raise awareness and funds for their organization. So he was like, "Hey man, I know you're kind of into streaming. Could you help me set up a marathon stream?" So I was like, "I've never streamed myself, but I can help you figure it out." So I jumped into YouTube and downloaded OBS, and after a lot of tutorials and a lot of fails of using OBS, and there's a picture I have somewhere of us in my old apartment in our living room with so many wires all over the place. There's my TV, then my computer's off on this table on the side, and he brought his original NES, his Super NES, his Sega Genesis, because he wanted to stream retro games from the original consoles. Somehow he hooked all that up into his VCR. Kids, VCR is just Google it. If you don't know, just Google it. Old school. He has
She
a working
hooked it.
VCR.
He hooked it into his VCR.
He is a major retro gamer. He has retro equipment. He has a working VCR that he used to put the game systems into the VCR to run through the TV somehow from the TV to the capture card. I don't know how he did it still to this day.
Amazing, amazing. I'm
And
impressed.
this was not that long ago, maybe 3, 4 years ago. He did all this through the VCR. Somehow I was like, yeah, give me that cable. I'll get it from here. I went from there to the capture card to my computer. I was just running tech, helping like him get the stream going. We did a test stream in my apartment, and then he did a 24-hour stream from a video game store in Houston. And I was literally just
That's
sitting next to him.
insane.
I sat his wife and I were sitting next to him on the couch, and we made it about 20 hours before we fell asleep on the couch. But his stream went off without, like, he had one hitch somewhere in the middle. We had to restart the stream once, and everything else was fine. And he did that. And then a few months later, I think, when I got my PS4, I think I was like, oh, I'll start trying to stream. And eventually, Team LNG became something I became a part of. And I started streaming on LNG and my own channel. And that became a thing for me.
Nice. Holy cow.
So,
Did you and Dennis start streaming about the same time?
yeah, I feel like we did because we both were actively watching Twitch together and talking about it a lot.
Yeah.
And then that discussion started like, hey man, maybe we should try this out. And we both were kind of like, yeah, we should try this out a little bit. So yeah, we did start very, very close together.
So are you two like connected at the hip or something? Like, I feel like sometimes I can't get you without Dennis and vice versa. Like, sometimes I just want a little Brucewaynebrady time and no Dennis time.
I mean, we only stream together on Mondays,
I
and then
know.
the rest of the time it's like poop. But we're like popping each other's streams and stuff. But it's funny because so on IGN, we're on my IGN. You know, you scroll through people's profiles, whatever, and just to be honest, at the time there was not many other people of color on gaming sites. So when you would see someone, it's first of all, it
Right.
just stood out. You know,
Yeah.
it stood out. And there was a handful of people I met from IG, like, oh hey, another. I mean, it was like, hey, there's another person who's a person of color who's a nerd. I mean, I met people of all different, walks of life, races, and everything. But you did not see many, especially many black gamers or black nerds, or I forgot who coined the term, just straight up blurs. Someone called them blurs. Not my word. I can't take credit for that. So people would stand out, and I was like, oh, hey, here's like another person who likes the
I love
same
that
comic.
term. I'm not even gonna lie. Blurs. It's such a great term.
I want to say that I heard Donald Glover say that on an interview before. Like someone said that on an interview I heard before, but I remember hearing blurs and thinking that makes sense to me. And I think on IGN at the time, it was even more watered down. It's like, oh, here's someone who likes fighting games because that is a very specific thing.
Right.
And so then we started talking about comics and games and all this stuff, and like this friendship built up. But we're like, people on that site eventually were like, hey, let's play some games together. Let's play this multiplayer, this all this whatever. You start playing and hanging out with people. And the first game we actually played together wasn't even a fighting game. We played Resident Evil 6, which was a co-op game.
Nice.
Resident Evil 6 is not a good game. It's not a good Resident Evil game. It's not even a good co-op game. But we just knew it was the only game that we both had and we wanted to play it. So if you're a fan of Resident Evil 6, I mean, no harm to you. I'm a fan of the Resident Evil series. That game was not what I wanted it to be. But whatever. That's neither here nor there. So
Chat is there's general consensus in chat that it is bad. Just FYI.
Thank you, chat. Appreciate you. You got my back. I appreciate that.
Speaking of person of color, like the last podcast was with King Nightmare, and we discussed why like marginalized communities need to exist. You know why. Like girl streamers, but it's not just girl streamers, right? It's also gamers of color. Like it is like you do this thing every year, which I love, for Black History Month, and you showcase these amazing just black men and women of history, and showcase like all of their accolades and stuff, and I think it's great. And it inspired me last year to do one for Women's History Month. But this year you kind of showcased a little bit more in the game industry, and I noticed a lot more people show off like actually black game devs. What are your thoughts on the gaming industry and how they handle this kind of stuff right now?
You mean as far as representing people of color in general, or?
Yeah, do you think they're doing better, or do you think it's still the status quo?
I think they're doing better, and I think there's a lot more eyes on things like that because you do notice. I can't remember the name of the character, but like they just announced a new Overwatch character, and it's a Baptiste. Yes, thank you. And
I was not just watching Overwatch League the last 2 days.
No, not at all. Yeah, and it's a person of color, and it's like that's another game that's been kind of like held up for that, for having a diverse cast of characters. And go ahead.
Okay, so from the female perspective, though, it's not a black female. There's no black female characters,
right?
And they are being very there's a lot of backlash for that, which I personally think is rightfully so. I mean, it's nice that there is another person of color, but like, why couldn't it have been a woman, right?
Well, true, because I was going to say on the flip side of that, not even a month ago, I think at this point, Apex Legends drops out of nowhere with 2 black female characters.
Right?
A major AAA game that drops out of nowhere. It's huge amounts of attention. A lot of people are playing it right now. People are streaming it. It's competing, it's taking eyes off of games like Fortnite. It's doing big things. And it drops with 2 black women in the game, So I think that's another case of like, here's a major game that comes out of nowhere. And when I say diverse cast, I mean all races, all sexes, everything. But yeah, that was something someone noticed in one of the articles I read about the game. They're like, hey, here's a game that starts with 2 black women in it.
Right.
How cool is that? And the medic character is my favorite to play on that game. I would only play a little bit of Apex Legends.
Same.
I'm shitty with names, but I know she's awesome. Her Jamaican accent gets me.
Yeah, I love her accent. She's just so cute. I love her hair with the little pigtail bun things going on, right?
Yeah,
And they're like,
yeah,
it's like red. I love that character. Um, her accent gives me a Wakanda vibe. I'm not even gonna lie.
yes.
That's kind of why I like her so much because I love
It's
Black
yeah,
Panther.
it's somewhere between Wakanda and Jamaica. It's like
Yes,
right, like
yes.
Jamaica forever. It's somewhere in there. And she's a medic. She heals. I like playing support in games, and so I was like, yes, I'm picking her like all the time.
Right?
So
Yeah.
she's my favorite character.
Um, Jamaica forever. Oh man, there's another possible.
But I'm super casual in Apex Legends, so if y'all want to play with me, hit me up. Just you got to carry me because I'm not that good.
I'm not good either,
Not that
so
good.
we can, be shitty together. Because I
Yes,
don't get to play games with you because I am not a fighter. I don't have a lot of the fighting games that you have. So I don't ever get to join you guys on Monday Maple Night fights.
I don't only play fighting games. It's just fighting games are the ones I consistently stream the most on Mondays. Yeah, but
um,
no, yeah, I'm multiplayer co-op. There's a lot of games I like to play. I'm not really the best at any game. I like to play a lot of different stuff, but I feel like I'm average at best. But I'm gonna make sure we're gonna have fun. We might not win, but we're gonna have fun for sure. I promise you. We might not get
um,
that number one Apex, but we're gonna like have some laughs on the way to trying.
right? Like, don't play with the Starsy. That's all I'm just gonna say.
Okay.
Me and Kinky made the mistake of playing with the Starsy,
Hmm.
and she gets real hardcore. Don't play with the Starsy.
Duly noted. Hashtag free kinky also.
So all right, my next question. And what is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you on stream?
um, that's funny because a lot of them are things that I just decided to say or do on my own. Things I just offer out. Because I freely tell stories and share things on stream because I'm like, whatever, why not? But I must say, there was something that happened on stream. I want to say, oh man, I think it was maybe like 2 years ago. It was like an old stream of mine. Actually, no, it wasn't on my stream. I was gaming with someone on their stream, but I was on call. But you could hear my voice. We were all talking and singing. And at some point, I had it was a Sunday, and I had just come home from PAX South that day, and we were all playing some multiplayer game. It might have been Overwatch or something like that. But I was so tired, and everyone was like, "Well, we're gonna play this game on stream." I was like, "Okay, cool. I'll be on call and hang out and play." But I knew I should have probably gone to sleep, but I wanted to hang out so bad. And at some point,
It's gonna be good.
they're calling my name, and I remember I stopped. I think it was on. She's now Atomic Blonde, and at the time, I think she was Raging Blonde on her channel. I think something happened, and like the match ended, and it got quiet, and they were like, "Bruce, Bruce," and I didn't say anything, and then you just heard like a little bit of like a snore, and then I think I woke
I
myself up, and I was
remember
like,
this.
"Yeah," and then she goes, "Did you just fall asleep?" I was like, "Nah, what? No." So it wasn't on my stream, but I remember it was on stream.
I remember
That happened.
this. I remember this.
That happened. On my stream, I don't really feel like there's anything embarrassing that's happened to me that wasn't something that I was offering or just doing or just being silly or throwing it out there because I've done things I'm sure some people will be like, well, that's embarrassing. Like I dance in costume for Extra Life. I put on wigs for streams and all kind of stuff. And I don't feel like that's embarrassing because I'm having fun doing it. But I can't
uh,
think of a moment I've truly just been embarrassed on stream.
I mean, Strawberry Hub comes from a moment on stream, right? So,
It
I
does.
mean, you could say that's embarrassing, but you wear it on a shirt proudly, so it's not really embarrassing.
I don't feel that there's anything embarrassing about Strawberry Hub. Oh, this. Oh, hi. Yeah, I didn't
uh,
see you there.
well, I promised people in the tweet, You have to tell us Strawberry Hub.
All right. So Strawberry Hub is a thing. So trying to think of where to start this story. So somehow we were streaming and eventually we started talking about food. Food is a topic that comes up a lot in streams for me and Dennis both. It just happens.
I mean, I'm a
People in our
fat girl,
streams,
so it's natural. So
I mean, hey, I love to eat, so it's like eventually someone would be like, "Hey, I'm gonna AFK to go like make some dinner." Then we're like, "What are you making?" And we'll just
right?
start asking, "What's for dinner? What are you cooking?" And we kind of do it ourselves. But food starts to become a thing. I don't know how we were talking about something on call, and then uh, Dennis talked about something about garlic. Someone was like, "Well, I'm putting garlic in this, whatever." He goes, "Oh, I love garlic," and I just got to say what he said. All right, he's like, "You know what? I would do awful things for garlic." I'm like, I'm like, I mean, you want the real version? Do you want me to just say what he said?
Yes.
Okay. He said, God, he said, "Man, I'm like a garlic slut." And I think I had my control in my hand. I was like, "Did you just say you were a garlic slut?" He goes, "Yes, I am a garlic slut." I said, "You know what? I can't be mad at that because I am a strawberry slut. I will do terrible things for strawberries." And then everyone just stopped. Like, I think we just all stopped. Like, so now you're a strawberry slut. I said, "Yes, strawberries are my favorite flavor of anything. If you bring me strawberries, I will shut down what I'm doing. I will love you forever. Strawberry cake, strawberry icing, strawberries all day." I said, "You know what? If I had somehow we talked about like something that I think Dennis might have been the one to say it, like, so your ideal like website would be just something like Strawberry Hub." I'm like, "Yeah, just give me like strawberries just all over the place. Just strawberries everywhere." And so while we were talking about this, we were talking about the idea of Strawberry Hub. Like, man, I'd wear that on a shirt. Strawberry Hub. That would be something I would wear on a shirt so everybody know how much I love strawberries. And I think before that stream was even over, I had a message on Discord from a friend of mine who was an artist who was like, "Hey, what do you think of this?"
Wasn't it
And
Toira? Because she's one
it
of the
was,
girls. She's a girl streamer.
it was Tora. She was like, "What do you think of this?" And she made the Strawberry Hub logo, and I died laughing. I said, "That's amazing. We're about to make that a shirt for real now," because I did not know you were doing that. And it became a thing. It really became a thing. I wore this at TwitchCon, and I remember at some point some guy was walking around interviewing people randomly at TwitchCon, and he walked up to me. He was like, "Hey, what's your name? What's your Twitch channel? All this stuff." And he stops and he goes, he puts the mic in my face. He goes, "So what's up with Strawberry Hub?"
Oh my god, that was at the party, remember? That was
Yeah,
at the party!
yeah.
Because
I had
we
to
were
tell
all
him,
there!
yeah. I had to tell him that story. He stopped and looked at me and goes, "What's up with Strawberry Hub?" So yeah, it's kind of a thing.
Oh my god, I was so there. We had that guy laughing so hard that night.
Yeah,
Like, he liked our
yeah,
little group over there. He interviewed, like, the entire group over there because we all had crazy stories.
yeah.
Strawberry Hub.
So that's the tale of Strawberry Hub.
Um,
I've got a lot of random ass stories, so it's
um,
just
uh, so we're just kind of all over the place in my questions. So I don't know. I'm just gonna ask you. What are your favorite kind of games to play in stream?
my favorite games to play in stream. Of course, we talked about fighting games. I feel like fighting games, even when you're not into them, they're easy to watch. Right? You can see who's winning, who's losing. It's just you don't have to know anything about the game to see clearly this person's winning, this person's losing, or it's back and forth. It's just very fun to watch. Right?
Right.
Besides fighting games, I like adventure games, like stuff like Tomb Raider. Single player games with like there's like a lot of action, kind of like very cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
The better the story, stuff like Uncharted, stuff like that. So I like to stream mostly kind of action games and fighting games, pretty much. But I'll do a little bit
Nice.
of everything, like multiplayer shooters and stuff every now and then.
Um. Uh. What games are you excited about coming out soon?
I actually was thinking about this. I saw a list of games coming out just for this month, and I was like, I have a problem. I want three of these games. This is not even good. I want to play the Division 2. I played a little bit of the first one when it came out.
Okay.
I actually kind of got into that game because it was kind of like a Destiny type game, which I played a lot of Destiny 1 and 2. Um, Kind of interested in the Division. I think it's worth checking out. Devil May Cry 5. I really want to get Devil May Cry 5.
A lot of people are looking forward to that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Devil May Cry, it's a series I've played for a long time. I love the big over the top action scenes. Uh, that's a game that I'm like, I really want to get that. But and also Dead or Alive 6 because it's another fighting game. And well, not just every fighting game, but Dead or Alive 5 was actually a series we played a lot. And I know people know DOA for just all of the fan service and stuff in it, but it's funny to say it's actually a really good fighting game. But they decide to advertise everything but the fact that it's actually a good fighting game. So who knows? But yeah, so those I can't think of too much else that's coming out like for the rest of the year, but I'm also trying to like finish Kingdom Hearts 3 right now.
You're
And
not done with it yet?
I haven't had time to sit and play it like I want to. I've been playing it consistently, but I haven't had time to just sit and just play just that really. Um
Did you ever
so
get past that one spot that you were stuck on for 2 hours where you were in the Hercules world trying to go up those rocks?
I mean, you say 2 hours, and it was like 20 minutes or
No,
30.
no. I was in your stream for an hour and you were already working on that before I came in your stream.
I mean, I don't remember it being an hour, and I hope it really wasn't an hour. No, so the funny thing, there's a
Silky
part
can
in
attest to how long it was because she was there too.
Silky is throwing shade because I realized Silky is a long lost sister I never had, and that's what she's gonna do is throw shade at me. Hi, Silky, you're awesome. No, there was actually this part in Kingdom Hearts 3. If y'all didn't see it, this is the one thing I okay. You want to talk about embarrassing moments on stream? There's a lot of times I play games and there'll be a part that I'm stuck on, and I'm thinking to myself, I want to keep trying to figure this out. But I have like a clock in my head of like, if I can't get past this though, I have no problem switching games, doing something else, because now it's just not fun for anybody. And there's a part in Kingdom Hearts 3 where you're jumping on these blocks, and they're teaching you a new mechanic where you're supposed to jump in the air from block to block. And I was stuck on this thing for way too long. And
I
to
got
the
up and
point,
cooked dinner, came back, and he was still working on it.
oh, it was bad. But I like that game so much. I was like, did I wait 10 years for Kingdom Hearts 3 to get stuck in the first 3 hours of the damn game? Is this what I waited for to get stuck here in the first like level or second level? Um, I did get past it eventually, but I
Okay,
heard
good.
I did hear later that someone said that's actually one of the worst parts of the whole game. Like, it's not just me. There's been times on stream when there's stuff like that I'm trying to solve a puzzle or something, and I'm like, I'll tell people when they come to my streams, look, if you're here for top tier gameplay, that's not my stream. I'm gonna try to figure stuff out. We're gonna have fun doing it. I might solve this puzzle, I might not, but I'll be the first one to make fun of myself for going, what is even going on? Someone in the chat that day actually told me there's one thing that I could do to make that easier, which I didn't know at all, and it helped me get past it. And I was like so gracious to the chat because they knew it, they had played it and gotten past it, and I was like, thank you so much, because I was about to just quit that game and play something else.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there. I know. It was really frustrating, and we were giving you so much shit.
Dude, it got to the point people started cheering. They're like, we want to help you figure this out.
So, what is one game that you would want to have a reboot or a remastering of?
Oh, that's a good question. Man, I you know what? I don't know if anyone's played this game. It's kind of like a lesser known game, but on GameCube, there's this game called Eternal Darkness. Have you ever played that?
No, but someone else has mentioned that game before.
So Eternal Darkness, it's a horror game, but the whole idea was that the game would mess with the person playing it, right? So they had these things that were like fake glitches, and they called them sanity effects. So if you're playing the game and like maybe you do something wrong in the game, instead of your character dying or getting hurt, it would simulate things like a fake error that said your GameCube is crashing or your memory card was erased or something. There was one thing where like the volume on your TV would just start going off or mute, and you would think the TV was messed up. It would it would mess with you while you played it and make you think something was going bad. Because
That
the
is
whole
so
point,
messed up.
it's awesome though. Because the point is the character in the game is losing their sanity, so you're trying to make sure that you do things and kind of like keep the character sane. But if you mess up, it makes the player think something's yeah. It's pretty twisted, but it was a pretty fun horror game. I've just never seen a game do stuff like that before. The game was pretty much trolling you if you played it badly.
That sounds like what Doki Doki Literature Club was trying to do.
I started that game, but I did not get more than 20 minutes into it.
It takes too long to get to the questionable parts of that game. It I think it would have been better if the build up wasn't so long for Doki
Mm,
Doki. Once you get to like the rough parts, then you're like, oh, it really does mess with your head. You're like, what the hell is this? But it
yeah.
takes like 3 hours just to get to that if you're streaming it and you're reading everything out loud. Yeah, so yeah. um, if there was a game that you could play again as if it were the first time, what would it be?
Oh, man, I'm trying to think. There's so many different ones. You know what? Actually, I would say Kingdom Hearts 1. Kingdom
Really?
Hearts 1. Kingdom Hearts 1. It was when that game came out, I wasn't a Final Fantasy fan. I wasn't really much of an RPG fan at the time actually. And I had friends that were just all about Final Fantasy, played all the games, and to me they looked boring
Right?
because the games I was playing, I'm used to having characters run around. You know, you hit a button, they do stuff immediately. And in Final Fantasy and traditional like JRPGs, you hit a button and you watch someone do something. You know, there's all these menus, all these things to like manage and juggle. And I was like, that looks like just the most complicated. Why can't you just hit a button and hit somebody? And
Right?
I thought it was just not my game. And here comes Kingdom Hearts, where the gameplay is like actual real time combat, and then they throw in Disney and Final Fantasy characters. So you got me because I like movies and I like anime. So it's like, hey, you don't like Final Fantasy, right? You might like this, and it just pulled me in. And I think that was one of those games I remember sitting there for like maybe I don't know a couple of days, just like when I had free time, I'm just playing that game constantly till I beat it. And I was impressed at how much I got into that game and how curious it made me about Final Fantasy. So yeah, I'd say Kingdom Hearts 1.
Nice. That I've always gotten Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy mixed up for some reason, and that's why. Cuz Final Fantasy characters are in Kingdom Hearts, and
Yep.
I like yeah, I'm not like I played Kingdom Hearts, but I actually preferred watching my brother play it cuz he was better at the game. So that
Mm.
was actually a game that I grew up watching my little brother play instead. Um so cuz they're fun games. And I hate to say it, but I enjoy watching Kingdom Hearts gameplay more than playing Kingdom Hearts because I am garbage at Kingdom Hearts. Um, so that's funny. That's awesome though. It's a good game. I remember. Oh man, that takes me back to when my brother got the game and we played it. Um, so is there a trend that you would like to see change in the gaming industry?
Gaming industry. I don't know. There's a lot of games now that are. I know it's a business thing, but what are the games as a service, right? Where every game now is like you buy this game, and we want you to play this game forever, and we keep adding stuff to it. And I get why that's a popular thing now. I get why like games like Destiny and MMOs. I get why that's a thing that works. But part of me enjoys games where it's like, here's the story we're telling, and it's a narrative that we've made, and it's got an ending, and that's it. So as much as I like playing multiplayer games, I like a really good, well-told single-player story, or even a co-op, but just pretty much a really good story that's like maybe if you add maybe a DLC with an extra, you know,
Yeah.
thing to it. But here's a story with like a definite ending, and this is the game we made, and that's it. And maybe we'll make a sequel like later. I like those a lot more. I get that gaming is a business though, and a lot of things are made to keep people buying and keep them coming back. And there's reasons for that. And those games are fun. I play some of those games too, but I always fall off of them eventually because I'm like, okay, let me either play something else or let me go back to this story that I want. I guess I just want a really good story. Even though as a Kingdom Hearts fan, I'll be the first to say the story's not the best and it doesn't make the most sense. But there's still a story there. And I have spent time keeping up with it. So I actually like that more. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess it would be kind of that, but I get why, as a business practice, why that works. You know?
But does it though? Like, I mean, you look at games like WoW and um other MMOs like WoW. They just like it's surprising that WoW is still going, right? Because
Mm.
every other MMO that tries to come up and exist falls so fast because nobody really wants to spend that money, right? Like nobody wants to pay that money to do that. To have to you buy the game, you buy the expansions, and then you also pay $15 a month to play the game. And
Yeah.
that
Mm.
it like that's a lot. Like you can't really play other games if that's where your money is going, right? Like
Yeah.
I didn't buy the latest expansion for WoW. I haven't played WoW in probably a year at this point. And there are times where I miss it, but I've played so many other games now because of it. I don't know. I think it's a dying art form. I don't think like WoW itself will ever die completely, but I think like the massive multiplayer games are evolving. I won't say dying. They're not dying. They're just evolving. Because people just they don't want to spend money. They don't want to spend $60 every expansion
Yeah.
because that gets expensive. It's a lot. And if you want to like get into like if you want to get into WoW now, sucks to be you, nerd. Like that's a lot of expansions you got to spend money on, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, with anything multiplayer, it's pretty much for me. It's always been like if my friends are playing, if we're gonna have fun with it, we play them as a group. Even if there's like two or three of us playing it, right? But if we really enjoy that game and come together on that game, we'll support it.
Right.
So Destiny One, even when it came out and there wasn't much there were days we get on the game and just talk and catch up and do the same repetitive missions. But we kind of bonded over, well, this is our game we hang out on, you know, and that kept us going until the game actually got better and had better content later. And actually, because of Kingdom Hearts, I become a Final Fantasy fan, which I become a Final Fantasy 14 fan, and I've been playing that like almost a year now for a couple of months. But it's because I've got a group of friends that I play that game with.
Yeah.
And if they're not playing, if they're like, hey, I'm canceling my subscription for like a month or two, well, I'm not playing by myself. I mean, you can do things in the game by yourself, but that's not why I play that game.
Right.
So if they're taking a break and we're all like, well, there's maybe one or two of us playing, we all kind of take breaks because
Yeah.
we're playing this to hang out with each other. And I just reactivated my subscription for that game after like 2 months of not playing it because I was busy and couldn't do stuff, and we all had stuff going on. But we came back together on that game to hang out, talk, and like the game I actually enjoyed because it's the first MMO that's really gotten my attention because I've started getting more into Final Fantasy, and it's catering to me. I'm now part of that audience, and we do sometimes go on and just talk while we just do mindless stuff on the game. So I think it depends on what it is, but yeah, I only need one of those in my life.
Right. Right. I can't like if you can't do multiple MMOs. There's just no way. Absolutely no
No.
way. Um like WoW is the game I played with my husband. Like that's how I met my husband.
Hmm.
So, yeah, like but now like I don't have really any friends who play the game anymore. I have some guild mates that I keep up with on Discord, but like the game itself just doesn't seem to draw me in, and no other MMO has really captured my attention the way WoW did. which is
Yeah.
why I like ended my subscription. But I honestly would love if WoW went to like a free to play format and then you pay, like you do microtransactions. I think WoW would actually do really well evolving into a microtransaction game because you already have microtransactions within the game with buying different mounts and stuff like that. Why not give people an opportunity to buy skins or buy things that, because you have the opportunity to reforge your skins and make your skins look a certain way. Well, why don't you make special skins that you pay for, right? And
Mm-hmm.
there's some microtransactions that will actually, because I don't have a problem paying for skins. I have a problem paying for things that help your play better, right? Like
Yeah.
I will go spend money on a loot box in Overwatch, but if I have to pay money to play better in the game, that's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just BS. That's not, I don't want to pay to do well in a game.
No.
I don't like that. I don't like that whole idea. I don't like that whole style of games. Um but what do you think of like the battle royale genre? You said you play Apex. Have you ever played PUBG or Fortnite?
I played PUBG and Fortnite. Fortnite I couldn't get into because I suck at building stuff.
Yeah. I could build on the computer sort of.
I just like when you start doing the building and everything else, I'm like, I'm just gonna focus on the shooting and not dying part.
Right?
I think it's cool you can build a house and run up it and like jump up and shoot somebody, but I'm like, yeah, I haven't tried that part. I'm just doing the shooting part, so I'm good. And it just wasn't for me. And I tried it because again, I had friends who were playing, and they're like, "You want to play Fortnite? Sure." Played 2 or 3 times, and like, it's not really grabbed me. It's fine, but it's not my thing. PUBG I thought was really interesting because at the time it was like the first major game like that, and that idea of like, I mean, in Battle Royale, that whole name, it's from like the movie and the book
Right.
Battle Royale. And if no one knows that concept, right? So it was a Japanese movie and a Japanese book called Battle Royale, and it was about there were kids in the school dropped on an island, and I forgot what the premise was, but the whole point was they were getting killed on the island and they were trying to survive. That's where Battle Royale comes from, or at least that concept. And PUBG was really cool and really fun to watch, especially because it was so tense. And I played it, wasn't good at it, but it was something I checked out because I had friends playing it. But I was like, it's not for me. But I'm always open to like check out different games at least.
Right. And
Apex I
Apex
like
is
because I like
free.
Titanfall.
Oh, see, I haven't played Titanfall, but now I'm kind of interested in it because I really like the way I like I'm I'm garbage at Apex. And the reason is because I have been playing Rainbow Six Siege for so long, and that is, I call Rainbow Six Siege the chess of shooter games
Yeah,
because it's slow paced, which I love slow paced. You really have to think, and it gives you an opportunity to really figure out where people are going to come in at. Like, Siege is not, it's not a fast paced game.
yeah,
It is definitely a camping game. Um, but I've also gotten back into Overwatch, so that's significantly faster paced than Siege, and the shooting styles in those three games is so different. It's really hard to cross over because you have to knock the shields down in Apex, and it's like, why are these people not going down fast enough?
yeah.
Right? So
So
I am terrible at Apex because it is a very fast paced game, and I
yeah,
am not good at that.
well, Apex. Okay, here's where I. This is where listening to podcasts while I work just gives me random knowledge, right? So Apex is made by Respawn, who made Titanfall, but Titanfall and those devs were originally people that worked on Call of Duty. So
I didn't know that. Okay.
that speed of gameplay comes from Call of Duty Origins
Okay.
because
Okay.
they were originally people that worked on the Call of Duty games. That's why it's so
Well, see,
fast.
and at one point I did the multiplayer for Call of Duty myself, and so
Yeah,
I can totally see the similarities because it is fast paced,
yeah,
but you don't get the respawn option in
right.
Apex, which is, well, you sort of do if they can pick up your banner, which I think is actually really cool. I I know we're like geeking out over games, and I'm giving my opinion on a game, and this is a podcast about you. But
No, no, go ahead.
I love the differences between like the three major well, we'll say four major battle royale games right now, because Black Ops, or yeah, is it Black Ops? Yeah, Black Ops 4.
Blackout. Yeah.
Yeah, Blackout. A lot of people really like the Blackout version, and each of them have brought their own thing to the battle royale genre, which is actually pretty cool. Um, they're not the same. They're not the same. I stopped playing PUBG because their bugs in PUBG are just. I got tired of the bugs in PUBG.
Yeah.
It is definitely the slowest pace of the battle royale games. Because you can survive PUBG by just waiting until the very end and only get one kill. If you can kill, the last person.
Which has worked for me and my friends on Apex. So even with Apex, right? The reason I like Apex, and I love Overwatch. I haven't played Overwatch in a few months, but I love Overwatch because that and Apex are co-op. You have to work with your team in Overwatch to be successful. Like you
Right.
really have to. In Apex, you have a team of 3 people, but you have to help each other out. And I don't play shooters as much as I used to. I always find like one shooter maybe a year that I like. And Titanfall 2 and Overwatch that year were both like so different, but I like them so much because Titanfall had mechs. I'm like, you got me. It's Call of Duty, but with robots. I hadn't played Call of Duty in years. I'm like, but I can get in a giant robot. I love this. But Overwatch, I like the co-op team aspect of it and all the different character types and all the different stuff you can do on it. But Apex takes the speed of like Titanfall because yeah, but you need to work with your friends. And
Right.
that's why I'm super casual, y'all. I play it like once a week. But when we do play it, we make it on not killing people and hiding a bunch. No shame, I'm telling y'all. The whole point, stay alive. We've made to like position 2 a couple of times just by not finding anybody or going, I hear gunshots to the right. Let's go left. Let's let them shoot each other. We're gonna go this way.
I really love the pinging system that Apex put in. Like, that needs to be in all multiplayer games.
Fortnite just added it this week.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Overwatch, honest to God, Overwatch could benefit adding a pinging system wholeheartedly,
Yeah.
because yeah, like all of them could use a pinging system. I mean, Siege sort of has a pinging system, which is very helpful, but the pinging system in Apex is the best pinging system I've ever seen in a game, and it is holy crap.
So I want to kind of go back and to something you and Kinky talked about on the podcast from last week.
Okay.
Y'all talked about like when girls are streaming or playing games sometimes, people hear their voices and just because they know that there's not a woman on the mic, they start messing with them sometimes, right? They get just because, oh, there's a woman on the game, they start harassing them.
Oh yeah,
We
we've
have
gotten team killed a lot of times because we're women and we keyed up on the mic.
yeah. So games like Apex make it easy to even play and communicate without a mic. And we have a friend we've been gaming with for years that she will not go on mic no more because people harassed her on mic, which we're like, that's totally fine. We get her in party chat, she can hear us talking to her, she'll text and type to us. But games like Apex make it to where she don't even need it. She pings stuff, she can, and we play fighting games and everything with her, and she'll just type to us, and we're like, cool. And we make that exception for her because we've been playing with her for so long, and she's just one of our friends, but we totally get it.
Yeah.
So if games make it more like that, where you can communicate with people easier, and that voice option is an option but not required, stuff like that, ping system is even like a better thing, a cooler idea.
Agreed. And when you're competitive, obviously that's a completely different area, right? But as in casual, like, I should not have to fear going into a casual game and being team killed just because I sound like this, right? Like,
Hmm.
it's not fair. And yeah, I find it cool that you brought that up, because it does Apex does make it significantly easier to be casual and not have to actually communicate, but still be able to communicate well.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's another like accessibility thing that actually I think games are getting better with things like that to make them more accessible. So
yeah, yeah, I agree with you. We actually just recently had one of our girl streamers, Geeky Gimp. She is an advocate for the Xbox adaptive controller, and they did a New York Times did an article on her,
that's
and she
awesome.
was in the New York Times talking about the adaptive controller, and it's really amazing, um, the strides that the gaming industry has actually done
Mm,
for that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously we have a lot further to go, and a lot of people are like, why are we not this far? And we have to remember the industry as a whole is only about 40 years old.
yeah,
Like
it's very young.
it's still very young. And but we, and the people who started it don't look like you and me, right? The people
Right.
that started it look like my husband, God love him, but uh he's aware of the privileges he's been granted in life.
Except one of my Black History Month things was a black dude who worked for like Atari in the 70s.
That it was I thought that was really neat because I didn't know that.
I didn't either. I don't know any of those before I post them, by the way. I find those myself and dig, and I'm like, I didn't know this either. I post it.
But like, it's really nice to see those changes in the industry. And yes, it's slow, but I think and I think it'll always be something that we have to discuss. We have to continue talking about. We have to continue putting it in the forefront, because if we don't, nothing will change, right? Like, you have
Yeah.
to keep saying, "Hey, I'm a person of color, I want representation," right? Or, "Hey, I'm a fat girl, I want representation," right? Like, "I'm a girl, period, I want representation." Like, it's amazing to see, like, people like UnifiedStreamers, Girlstreamers, communities like that are really, we're here, we're existing for the people within the community, but just us existing is doing work, right? Like, you
Mm-hmm.
are another leader. You and Dennis basically co-lead UnifiedStreamers, and no, you're not. Like, you guys are very inclusive of everybody. You accept everybody. You're not specific, like, this is just a person of color community, or this is just a whatever community. But the fact that it's two black men who run the community is pretty awesome. I mean, that right there, just you existing and running and being leaders, is a statement, right? Like, it's pretty powerful to see that. And I'm actually curious, because I asked Dennis a little bit of this, like, why did you want to start UnifiedStreamers? What got you start? What brought you into it, aside from Dennis saying, "Hey, be there"?
Unified is, in all fairness, Unified is from a concept that I could see was developing a while back because Dennis has always been more interested in supporting than anything before he even started streaming. So when we both started
It's
getting
fair.
into watching, when we both started getting into watching Twitch actively, it would be sometimes us literally going, "Hey, have you seen this person's channel? Have you seen this?" And like telling each other, "Oh, I found this other cool channel." And like and like just go check this out before we ever streamed anything ourselves. "Oh, this person, seems cool too," and sending links to each other back and forth, back and forth. And I remember at some point, Dennis was like, "Man, this is really cool. I found this one channel. I think more people should be here watching this. I'm just gonna start posting their link. Literally, just like I'm gonna get people in." I'm like, "Yeah, that's a good idea." And he would just start doing it. And then he got to the point where he was like, "Man, I like supporting. It's kind of fun. I like to just sit here and like tell people, go watch this channel. This is a really cool channel. Come check this person out." And I remember telling him, I was like, "That's pretty funny, dude. You're like supporting everybody. Like, have you thought of like just trying to do it?" He goes, "I don't know. So eventually he started streaming also, but he had been supporting for so long. And I think he was not aware of this because we had a conversation where I told him people showed back up to watch him. And I was like, "Do you realize you've been sitting here for months only telling people to go watch other people's channels?"
Right.
You never asked for anything. You never asked for anything back. They never asked you to do this. On your own, you went, hey, someone should come here and check this out right now. And that's all you did for months. And so when you started, everyone came back to check you out
Right.
because you were telling everyone else where to go. So now that you started, it was your turn for everyone to come back to hang out with you. So that's just how he's always looked at things about like people should come check this out. There's no strings attached. You don't have to jump through hoops, whatever. People should find these other people that are streaming and doing cool stuff. So the whole idea of Unified was that I knew eventually I was like, dude, there's it was a thing where eventually Dennis's Twitter just became go follow so they're live. Just did it. It was it still is very much a lot of that, but
I
Unified
mean, the
now
fact
is
that he's been flagged several times as a possible bot,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But there was times before where I saw he talked to someone else about like, hey, he's starting a community, doing a community. He's like, well, I'm not. I don't want to. I don't have an idea of a community, and like it's because some communities we had seen and been a part of or talked to where people were building them up, but not for the idea of the community. We support each other here. Literally, we. It was always someone funneling things back to, well, me. I brought you all here for me, and we're like, that's not why we do things. We don't do this to ask for you to bring it back to us. I'll never tweet or retweet or support because I want you to do it for me. I do it because I genuinely want to do
Right.
it. If it comes back to me, cool. If not, cool. But I'm not sitting there going, I can't believe no one's done that. That's not why. It's not the intention behind it.
Right.
So eventually the idea of it all just came around to like, look, dude, you now have, whether you see it or not, a community. And we kind of built a thing because, like you said, we stream together and we're friends and we hang out and do things and we're in each other's streams and we play games together. And it's like this crazy sitcom, these two guys who crack jokes and play games all the time. But we love interacting with other people and going to their channels and then they come and hang out with us. And there was a point where he just talked about how much he liked supporting. I'm like, well, just build a community, but just do the thing you've been wanting to do forever that you've already been doing anyway. Just keep what you've been doing, but have it just have one name. You know, he just eventually made the idea. I mean, it was really honestly, I can't say that Dennis and I run Unified. Literally, the mods and the other people, which you're part of, the community at the heart of Unified are what built and run that because there's so many other people in the heart of this idea that help promote it and help even go like we take people in to go cool, hey, welcome. Literally we're about just what do I do for support. Oh, just tell us when you're going live, we'll retweet you. That's it. Yeah.
Right.
Nothing else. No, why would we ask anything else? That is literally the concept. And the whole idea is to keep this pure honest concept. And because I've known Dennis for so long and I've known that this is what he's wanted to do and we've been involved with other things where we're like, this is not why we joined this. It's easy to keep that idea going and keep that idea what it is supposed to be when you're helping be a part of the idea.
Yeah.
You can't stray from the path if you're helping like to carve that path out. If you're like, this is the direction we're going in. Nothing wrong with these other directions, but this is not what we're here for. We're here to go this way. You can go that way. We're not saying that's wrong or anything, but that doesn't work for us. So if you're helping to steer the thing, and if you're a part of the crew, which I just feel like I'm a part of the crew, and we're just all steering this thing in the same direction. And if we hit stuff along the way, it's like okay, but let's keep back on course. And we have a core of people and mods and the people in our community that support that concept, and that's why they are there. They're like, oh, they didn't ask us to do anything else, but just tweet at them, and they retweet us or whatever. Yeah, that's literally what it's supposed to be.
You know, we have a lot of cross pollination in between Unified Streamers and Girl Streamers because we also have that same concept. Like that's our core. I mean, our tagline is literally encourage, support, grow. Like that's literally what we're here for is to help you, you know, with your thing. And so is that like kind of what drew you to Girl Streamers as a supporter yourself? Because I mean, not only I mean, I know that the women, the people behind Girl Streamers, we are women. The people who run Girl Streamers, we are women. It is specifically a female community, but that doesn't mean like we don't support, you know, anyone who doesn't identify as female, right? Like we support
Clearly.
I mean, we totally support those outside of our community. And uh, it is, I mean, why wouldn't we, right? Like, we're not a man
Right.
hating club. And I know a lot of people think that Girlstreamers is, but it is that whole concept of wanting to help and promote those people and showcase those awesome people, right? And so that's why we've started bringing on our male supporters because you guys stream too and we want to give you guys the love as well. So what is it that like drew you to Girlstreamers in the first place?
So I honestly have to go back in my memory because I don't remember if I found the girl streamers channel itself first or some of the other people that were part of it. But somewhere in there, the girl streamers channel, and it was a combination of like finding like you, finding Carice, finding Dead Mannequin. And then, this is at the same time we're both starting to watch a lot of Twitch and sharing. And then it's like, hey, this channel is cool. And sometimes we both, oh, yeah, I was watching that person's channel too. And then you start to hear, like, oh, they're all a part of this girl streamers channel. I think there was a lot of several people I was eventually following their channels. And then it funneled me back into girl streamers where I was like, oh, there's another, just the idea of that one channel with a lot of different people on it. And this idea of this community that's very well organized, very well run, supportive. And like you said, I never felt that concept or that idea of it being a man hating, it just felt like here's a community of people who support each other and that's it. And they're unified. Didn't even mean to say unified, but they are unified in this channel that they're running, in this concept and everything they're doing. And Girl Streamers is probably the first Twitch channel that the more I just started to engage with the channel, it felt very professional. I can't think of a better word. Girl streamers felt professional to the fact that I gotta say this. It feels silly to say this right now. It still happens when anyone from girl streamers comes to my channel or hosts my channel or follows me on Twitter or tweets at me or interacts back with me, especially the people that I originally started following. Like, I remember geeking out going, Kareem just followed me? Or it's like anyone that I follow, because I looked at this as like, holy shit, because I seriously, there was a whole different vibe to girl streamers, right? There's a lot of channels that also have many different people that are a team, that they have a constant rotating roster of different people at different times. But girl streamers has a different vibe to it. It still has a vibe of like, I can't even guess how many number of people are affiliated with this channel, but something about it feels so like there's a common thread there. It's very welcoming, and it's just always felt like there's a lot of thought behind what goes into girl streamers, and it just felt very organized, very cool, and it was the same concept of like, oh well, I'd like these other people's individual streams, and now I'm just back here on this one too. Okay, cool. They also are here, and there's more stuff here. Like you have different shows and stuff that are just for girl streamers, like the podcast and like all the other stuff. It just felt very organized, very thought out. There's like a lot of it just felt like girl streamers had like a lot of like there was a concept. It felt like there was something, a lot of thought put into this channel
You have
and the
no
people behind it.
idea how I, thank you. That's all I can say. Like thank you. Thank you.
I mean, y'all had your own logos, everything, like stuff that I hadn't even thought of at the time. That to me now seem like that makes total sense. And I've even seen stuff like that change throughout the years. But I couldn't even think of another channel at the time where that stuff stood out to me as, yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, that's a brilliant idea. And it seems like such an easy thing to overlook now that back then in my early days of starting to watch stuff on Twitch, I'm like, this, I was like, this channel is fucking like legit. Like, yeah.
Well, you do know that we did change the actual stream team. We don't have the stream team anymore. Girlstreamers did change just slightly, only because we now have the Twitch team. And so, which in the panels, you can just click on the ladies that are actually a part of the Twitch team. Only because it was just getting like it was just a lot, and they weren't getting. We wanted to get them more benefits, right? So now it's just you're part of the Twitch team, and so we're directly sending you to your channel instead of you streaming here. At first it worked out, but now that it's grown and gotten bigger, we wanted to push a little bit more there. So we only do special stuff on this, which is a bit easier to moderate now.
Yeah.
Because I think Kinky was like moderating something like 20 to 30 people right on the actual stream team. So it's a little bit easier to moderate now. Because it's just that's it's really hard to keep up with that kind of stuff, right? Like it is really
Yeah.
hard. And the whole goal was to get the Twitch team thing going anyway. And so since we hit it, we now don't actually have regular streamers. We do the charity streams, which are on Wednesdays, the podcast, Cosmic Bulletin, the community nights, special stuff like that. But we don't have an actual rotating cast anymore, just because that is a lot to handle. I
Yeah.
mean, LNG no longer exists because it just got to be crazy, right? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, most community channels that start out like that end up um, going in this direction. So, unfortunately, we don't have that anymore. But I think it's more beneficial for the girls that were on the stream team, personally. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, so what keeps you passionate? Like what is it that just keeps you so passionate about gaming, about the industry, especially as a person of color? Because I mean, you kind of get the rough end of the stick sometimes, just being a male, a black male streamer, right? Like,
Yeah.
um, what how what keeps you going during those moments? Because like I'm not gonna lie, like when people come in and call me fat, that shit gets really annoying after a while, right? Like it just gets so frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly, Kinky. So we could feature them on their own channel. Um, so yeah, sorry. Anyway, you can answer my question now.
no, no. Well, yeah, I'll tell you one thing. When you're setting up things for your channel and you have, there's certain words you have the bot just like, nope, this is not gonna fly.
Right.
And then trolls get creative on ways to spell and misspell things to get under the bot. And you look at your chat and you go, wow, I've never seen that variation before. You're either really dumb or really smart. I'll add that to the list to block for next time. And I've got amazing mods. And it's another thing, again, I gotta refer back to Kinky's interview because I think she said something similar with like, my mods don't have to ban people much, but when they do, I've got one mod that he has been wanting to ban someone for a year. And the joke is that he's never there when something actually needs to be banned. He has missed every opportunity in the past year to ban somebody. When again, it hasn't happened much, but he'll pop in like 10 minutes later. We're like, dude, you just missed. There was a troll. He goes, damn it. We're like, sorry, man, you weren't here. He's like Thor waiting to drop that hammer, but he has not had a chance to drop it at all yet. As far as dealing with people, as far as being, a black guy streaming, um, to put all jokes aside, growing up in Texas, growing up in the South, there are times when I see stuff, not on a daily basis, but regular enough basis where I'm like, oh, that's right, that exists in the world. That's also here where I live.
Yeah.
That's you're aware of it, but in the way you respond to it, right? It's like sometimes you can get really mad and just be like, oh, what the hell? And then some days I'm like, I'm really big on trying to not feed the negative energy. So if I can like, I won't be cool with it, but if I can be like, that's cute. Hey mods, can you get that? I would do it just like that. Like, oh, you're funny. You slipped in just now. Bye. Won't happen again. Sometimes I look over and something's been actually cleared out so fast, I don't even know what happened. But I know there was a reason for it, and I'll go, oh, well, I see so and so got it. I'm good. I don't acknowledge it. I'll keep going back to what I was doing. And I'll message later, hey, what happened? Oh, they typed this or whatever, or they'll show me. I'm like, okay, cool. But on the rare occasion that stuff happens, I'll just look at it and be like, oh, wow, man, you must be really bored. Like I'll talk to him like, I feel so bad for you. You came here to do that. There's so many other channels you could maybe go do that in, but you just no. You could have done so many other things. You could have went and learned something on YouTube or gone outside or uh just whatever. Just ban. It's to me it's like let's get past this and get it over with because for the people that are not there for that, why let this person who is this big take away from the rest of us having a good time?
Right.
And when they come in with that, some people are about that. That's what they want to do, whatever. I really do feel sorry for you if you get some kind of like enjoyment off of spreading hate in any way to anybody, online or offline or whatever. So I know they want attention. I know if I respond in anger, it's just gonna make everything worse, right? If I get mad, everything gets ruined, everything spirals out of control. It's probably what they want. If I acknowledge even, I'm gonna acknowledge in a way of, well, that happened. Move on, and now we're done. Most times I don't acknowledge because someone's picking up or someone will see it. It's but I try to minimize it, keep it
Yeah.
moving because if you've realized that's a thing and you feed into them and now you're giving them your attention, now it's their stream. Now they have a platform. Now they have a voice. And now it's just worse for everybody. And there was a day, I remember one day like last year, I felt like, man, someone's really bored. I have never seen so many fake accounts being made. Just I'm like, you can keep making them, we're gonna keep banning them. Like just it's wow, this is kind of getting ridiculous. But
Do you have you gotten the was it like the ice wallow guy? Ice wallow?
I've seen stuff like that to where now I know enough. I'm so like on this automatic thing of when someone follows or hosts or whatever, like, hey, thank you, username for the follow the host. It's just a thing to look at it, acknowledge it really quick.
Right?
But because of stuff like that now, I look and go, if you see me streaming and I look like this, I'm reading it in my head first, going, how do you say that name? Is that a troll name or is that a real name?
Yep.
If it's something clear like, oh, thank you, Barry Jones for the follow, whatever. If you look and it's like, if I'm not sure, I'll just take a part of the word, like thank you, or just say thank you, E, or I'll say I don't know how to pronounce your name. Thank you for the follow, and I'll just do that and just keep going. I'm not gonna play your game of like it's a weird name that might be offensive to somebody. So now I'm more of like, hold on, what is that? So, but I just try to minimize the whole experience and just keep it moving because there's no point in giving my energy or my time to that and letting everyone else now have a bad time because my whole point of my streams is when you come to my streams, no matter what, I want you to have fun. Um, whether I'm doing good or bad in the game or whatever's happening, whatever we're talking about, if you jump into my streams and whatever random thing is happening, I want you to get a sense of immediately of like, oh, they're just having fun here. Cool. Because I was playing Tomb Raider once and I got raided. And I was like, oh, cool. Welcome everyone for the raid. And it was in the middle of some weird puzzle I was just kind of stuck on. And it took me maybe like 5 minutes. I actually solved the puzzle, got through it. And so one guy, someone asked me a question in chat, and we just started talking about something for a second. And I stopped playing the game for a while. And he goes, hey, why don't you get back to playing the game and figure out the puzzle? Never seen him before, just a random person. I said, hey, man, hold on. If you're here to watch Tomb Raider and it's really bugging you that I'm not just solving this puzzle right now, you might want to go to another stream because we're going to hang out and talk, okay? I'm going to get back to the puzzle in a second, but someone asked me a question and we're just having a good time hanging out. If that's not what you want, then please just go find someone else to stream. Sorry. Not sorry. I'm just not gonna let someone come in and just kind of bully everyone. It's just there's no need for all that. So
Right. So what is your speaking of your dude who never gets to ban anybody, guess who just walked into chat?
wait, what?
Sedate me just walked into
Oh, my mod who's never been able to ban anybody. What's up, man? Yep. Yep.
So what is your I've got a couple more questions and then we'll open up to the question because we've actually got a couple on the Google Doc. So if anybody
Okay.
has questions that they would like to ask Brucewaynebrady, just type !podcast and click that link and send me questions.
Do it.
What is your greatest challenge or obstacle that you have had to overcome in your life so far?
Oh, my life. Um, wow, that's a big. You just went straight to the real stuff, huh? We're not even in my life. Man, that's tough. You know what? I feel like my greatest challenge has always been like my personal self discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Like anytime I've been like, I don't want to start this or work on this thing, and every time I sit down and do whatever it was, when I'm in the middle of that project or when I'm finished, I'm so happy I started doing it. Um, and I want to say maybe this was maybe a year and a half ago. I decided at the same time in November I was going to start working on my finances, which were hot garbage, just trash. I was going to start working on my finances and my health at the same time. Why? I don't know. It just I got to the point where it's like I got to take control of these things.
Right.
Um, and I remember the weekend after Thanksgiving, I didn't pick a diet or anything. I just was like, okay, I'm just gonna start making changes now. Okay, I'm cutting soda. Okay, that's out. I had to do it in a way that made sense. That was like, if
That
I
works
focus
for
every day
you.
on,
Yeah.
yeah, if I focus every day on this one thing, I'm gonna not drink soda. I'm just gonna drink everything else, water, tea, whatever, just not soda. Let's try this for a month. Okay, cool. 2 months. Okay, don't miss it. Okay, now I'm gonna back off. No fast food. I kept making these little changes, and the day to day sucked because your habits start to creep up on you.
Yep.
I, I drive a lot. Oh, let me stop here and get some food to drive through. No, we're not doing drive through anymore. We need to pack lunch. We need to get something healthy. Uh, that combined with starting to work on my finances, I started to also notice how much money I was saving doing that. But the day to day was rough. And then it became a way of life. And it was still at a point where I was like, oh, I haven't had a soda in months, whatever. But like, still, sometimes you're like, I want to order a pizza though, and just go all the way and kill this pizza right now. But no,
Right.
no, no. I'm gonna back off, let me get a slice or two, and then just put the rest. And like I'd start making these little changes. So I always thought I didn't have that discipline, but I'll do things like that require a lot of work. Learning OBS on my own on YouTube because I didn't know anyone else at the time to teach me. Uh, I wasn't doing it for money. I was like, I need to learn OBS. Let's just sit here every day and mess with this. So we figure it out. Video editing, any kind of editing. I do a podcast with my friends. I edit everything. I edit video. And as a video editor, person who works in film stuff yourself, video editing is sometimes not fun and tedious. Sometimes it's the best thing ever.
I always find it
Sometimes you're trying to figure out something new you don't know how to do in Adobe though, but then you eventually get yourself to export that finished thing and you're so happy.
fun.
And
No,
it's the
I
coolest
find
thing.
those challenges rewarding. So
I,
I'm a weirdo, okay, when it comes to editing. I'm a weirdo. I really love all of the hard parts of it. I do. I know. I love the tedious parts. The one part I don't like about editing, the one part I hate is organizing everything and having to go
yeah.
through all the footage because that to me is what I want the assistant to do. But I don't have an
You have an
assistant.
assistant. I was gonna say, man, you have an assistant. I am
That's
my assistant.
That's what the assistant is supposed to do, though. The
Yeah,
assistant's supposed to go through all of that stuff. The assistant is supposed to organize all of that stuff, so you don't have to. But
yeah.
yeah. So, but I'm that weird person where I like those things.
Well, I just have to balance, right? I'm like,
Yep.
I have this video idea I should sit and work on, or I could play a few rounds of Tekken, which becomes an hour of Tekken, which could have been an hour
Oh,
of
I
video
feel
editing.
you on that. I feel you on that. Yeah, it's like games or edit. No, I totally understand that.
Right. It's not that I don't like. I love editing, but there's never been a time when I've just been like, let me sit down and do it. It's like, all right, you got to do the work. And every time I've sit down and
I'm
done,
such a
I'm like, that was so
procrastinator.
gratifying.
Yeah.
I am. But once I'm sitting there in Premiere or whatever After Effects, I'm like, this is where I belong. I just had to
Yeah.
sit down and start doing it. So, yeah.
Um I am going to text you something because I can't tell. I don't want to talk about it on the podcast because it's personal stuff.
Okay.
Um, but so I have one more question. I think. Um, You know what? No, we're going to go over to the other questions first. And we'll come back. If we have time, we'll come back to these questions.
Okay.
So I don't know how to say this name, but it says Jackweh, Jakweh. Do you know who that is? How do you say that? Did I say it wrong?
You said it right.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Why are you so secretive, though?
Oh, my God. Oh, my response is about what? I've revealed so much of myself on stream. Ask me. What do you want to know? I'm an open book.
Silky asked about Strawberry Hub, but we've already addressed that, so Silky doesn't get her question. She's gonna have to have a better question. Silky.
Sorry, Silky.
Do better. Nobody. It just says nobody. How old are you, and are you single?
I'm years old. And yes, I am. Oh my God. Why am I blushing right now?
Oh my God. Who asked that question? Who the hell asked this question? This is great. This is great. Oh my God. I don't know who asked that question. That is hilarious.
I'm in my 30s. There you go.
So this final
I
question.
can't even focus right now.
This final question is the best one.
I'm afraid but curious. I'm so afraid.
I can't ask it for life. It's so hard.
Do it, Nymphy. Come on.
So you like strawberries or not? Guess who that one's from?
Oh my God. I can't. You know what? I shouldn't have brought my son for this.
Oh my God. I was wondering when Winston was going to come on. Oh my God.
Oh
Kinky.
my God.
Hashtag free
Wow.
Kinky is the name. I wonder who that is. Guys, if you have any other questions, just let me know. We've still got about 15 more minutes of the podcast. Oh my God, that's great.
You know what?
I'm crying. I am crying from laughing so hard.
I wish at the back of the shirt said that you like strawberries and nah.
Oh my God.
That might be version 2 of the shirt. Let me stop. Oh my God.
So one thing a lot of people don't actually know about you, because you don't really talk about it that much, is you're a DJ.
Yeah.
So do you ever stream any of your DJ stuff or nah?
Or nah.
Like seriously, like have you ever streamed, like do you mix or anything like that? Or
I like live beat mix and stuff when I do it. I don't really like make beats or produce or anything, but
have you ever considered like streaming something like that? Because I feel like that would be kind of cool.
I've thought about it. I'll tell you what's funny is I think about doing it. I've seen people stream DJ sets, and it's really fun to watch when people do it and they do interesting remixes of songs or like songs you never heard of. Mm-hmm. And I kind of want to do it on that. If I did something like that, I'd do maybe a different mix of a song, or honestly, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I've been wanting to do it with K-pop songs. Straight up. I've wanted to do it with K-pop songs.
I'd be down for that.
Because I don't know how many people that are watching or listening are K-pop fans. I know Silky is, because we talk about K-pop a lot. But I had 2 friends that went to Korea and they taught English in Korea for like a year or 2.
I've got a friend who moved to Korea. She started out to go teach, and then she's like, I want to live here forever. So she's there. Like, that's where she lives now.
Yeah, and when they came home, they both were like, God, this was maybe 2011, 2012. They both were like on YouTube playing some videos for me, like, hey, check out these bands, all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, it's just pop music in a different language, but sometimes it's even better. They have even better beats and stuff than we do in some of our stuff.
Oh my God, that's how I was introduced to K-pop. The same friend sat my ass down and was like, watch these YouTube channels.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you start to find out now some of the producers here in America work with artists overseas, right? So you've got like songs produced by people producing songs for bands over here. But for some reason, I'm like, nah, some of this stuff sounds better in the K-pop songs. So I was hearing all these beats and stuff like, I haven't heard anything like this in the American radio stuff. And then you start really just getting into like the whole scene of it. And I would like to do a DJ set, but I would probably do it either a mix of like Billboard Top 40 and K-pop or just K-pop because there's a one YouTube channel I follow. The guy does like K-pop mashups, and sometimes he'll put in American songs with it. But I'd probably do a K-pop DJ set if I did stream it.
That would be cool.
Also, because I'm wondering about how that stuff works with like um, copyright. Because if you do stuff like that, it'll probably mute the VOD, of course, if you have too much copyrighted music. But if you play K-pop, it might not be such an issue. I don't know.
You'd
I
have
don't
to
know
look
legally.
at there are some basic licensing things that you can like purchase that will cover certain entities because DJs do have some leeway there. They like there's so many different licensing options out there.
Yeah.
So you'd have to look into like what the licensing options are and be able to say, look, I have the license for this, blah blah blah, or whatever. But even if it's muted, it would still kind of be a cool like live VOD to watch, right?
Well, also because K-pop is becoming bigger because the artists are now starting to cross over into American. It's becoming a bigger thing. But the places I DJ at locally, there are some songs. I know some people are like, oh, it's another language. I don't like it. Yeah, but when a song like Despacito gets big, you don't know. Some people don't know Spanish. They sing Despacito and stuff all day. I'm like, what's the difference between that and a K-pop song?
Right.
So I will test out when I'm DJing and throw in some K-pop songs every now and then to see first is anyone paying attention, and second if they like it. And I've done it a few times to where people will stop and go, "What's this?" And I'll tell them, and they'll go, "I've never heard of this." And oh yeah, and I'll tell them who it is, or they'll Shazam it. And I've done it a few times where people will just start hearing the beat and they'll start dancing. Then they'll look and be like, "I've never heard this," and I'm like, "I got you," because now no matter what they say in what language, how are you going to deny like this is a good beat and oh I'm gonna quit
Right.
dancing because I don't know the words anymore?
Right.
Please. So I would probably do a K-pop DJ set if I did one.
I think that would be fun. And chat is like saying you should do it. So
Thank you,
do
Chad.
it.
I also have another idea for K-pop, but I'm gonna keep that under wraps right now. I have to work on it.
So, what advice would you have for new people to get into streaming?
To get into streaming, I would tell you to stream something that you sincerely enjoy doing. I'm not gonna say playing, because there's people that cook and that do art and that do other things besides just gaming. I love that Twitch is more than just gaming. I watch a lot of art streams. A lot of my friends do art stuff, but I would say stream something you really enjoy streaming. Don't stream something because you feel like it's going to bring views. I personally feel like if you're not enjoying what you're doing, why do it? So if you stream a game that you really like playing, or you do art, or whatever your passion is, and you enjoy doing that thing, it comes across that you're really into it. People have more fun. You can talk about it more. You can share it more. Like I just talked about K-pop. I've never seen anyone stream K-pop. Someone's probably doing it, but I would lose my mind if I found a dope DJ streaming K-pop. I'd be like, this dude's legit, and I would be like, y'all need to come watch this. That's just me. But I feel like you should do something you really like doing, because otherwise, why are you streaming?
Right.
I get people want to build numbers and be part and all that stuff, but okay, but why not enjoy it when you're doing it? Because if not, what's the point?
Right. I
That's
agree.
I don't get it. So
Getting into it because you think it's easy to make money is probably not the best thing because it's not.
yeah, I had a
It's
guy come
not.
in. I had a guy in my chat was asking me about some game I was playing one day, and he said, "How many views you get with this game?" I said, "I don't know. I'm playing because I like it. Like I really don't know. That's not why I picked this game." And that's just not how I approach my streams. It's like, hey y'all, I might suck at this Tomb Raider puzzle, but I love Tomb Raider. So I might suck at this Kingdom Hearts puzzle, but I love Kingdom Hearts. Even though I might not like it during that puzzle, but I still like this game and I'm gonna play it because I like it. So
What trait of yours are you most proud of?
My sense of humor.
That's a good one. All right. So what is your greatest insecurity? Hmm.
My greatest insecurity. Oh man.
This one
Um,
always trips everybody up.
it's either because I don't know exactly, I haven't thought about it, or I don't know. Wow. Yeah, you really caught me off guard on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell you what's funny is I talk a lot, and you just found a way to shut me up for a second. Greatest insecurity. You know what? I think I don't know. I'm one of those people I like to be liked,
Yeah.
and I guess when people don't like me, I don't need everyone to like me. But if someone just gets mad at me, I'm like, what the hell did I do to them? I'm that kind of person. Like, what did I do
Yeah.
to you? You know. So that's probably one of those things for me.
That's a common insecurity. Everybody wants to be liked. So going back to the podcast Q&As, Silky, give me a question I haven't already asked, woman. I
Uh oh,
swear
Silky.
to Christ. All right. I'm going to read this, but I'm going to let you put your drink down because I have a feeling this is going to make you laugh. Because
Okay.
it says, I got what you need, baby. Why haven't you come to see us in the cafeteria, baby?
Oh my god.
I have to know. What the hell?
Okay, I know what this is. All right. I don't remember how this came up. I talked about this on stream pretty recently. I remember how this came up. Okay, at work, I went to Subway one day, and the Subway I went to, I've been there maybe two or three times, like in a row, where there's one lady reminded me of the cafeteria lunch ladies in high school. Because I don't know if y'all had this in school, but like for the high school I went to, maybe because of Texas, maybe because it's the South, there were these cafeteria ladies. I don't know their names, but they called everybody baby, and they said it like that. And
Yep,
they
yep,
started, or they either start or end every sentence with "baby, what you want, baby?"
yes,
And
I totally had those cafeteria ladies.
right, so it's a thing. Okay, so I go to a Subway for lunch one day for work, and this lady's like, "What you want in a sandwich, baby?" And I'm like, I just traveled back to high school. I'm like, "Whoa, what year is this?" And then I went back the next week. She's like, "Hey, baby," and I'm like, "Okay, I gotta talk about this on stream. Is this a thing for anyone else?" And so I talked about how the cafeteria lunch ladies called everyone baby. And I don't know how it became a thing because I don't remember saying this, but in the chat, somehow it became a thing that I had a thing for cafeteria ladies, which is not the point of that story at all. I am not, hold on, for I am not shading cafeteria ladies. I am just saying, I don't know what it became a thing where clearly people thought I had a thing for cafeteria ladies because they called me baby. That is not what the point of that story was. And I think I know who asked that question
So
now.
you have a lunch lady fetish. I
That
see.
is not my. Oh my god! See, that's not what happened at all. Go back, watch the VOD, y'all. That's not what happened. That is not what I said.
All right,
I think I know who asked that question now.
Don Steph ask, Uncle Bruce, what's your favorite dad joke?
Don Steph has started calling me Uncle Bruce. I have so many puns now, and I just sometimes I can't help it. I'll be in someone else's stream and just the puns are just flying out of my head, and I can't even. I don't have a dad joke in my head. I usually make a pun as a response to something else that happens naturally. I can't think of a dad joke right now. But
Well, um, Miss DJM wants me to let you know we don't judge here. We support your choice to love who you want to love.
thank you, Miss TJ. I appreciate that.
We don't
Thank you,
kink
baby.
shame here.
Appreciate that, baby. Now, what you want on your sandwich, baby? Oh my god.
Oh my god. All right. All right. So we're going to wrap it up here. What is your strongest passion outside of streaming?
Outside of streaming, I could say movies because I really, really know way too much about movies, and I love movies. Um, I'd probably have to say movies. Yeah, yeah, it's got to be. as far as like wanting to like I've tried to write scripts and like wanting to make my own movie and do stuff like that. Uh, that's why I like editing and stuff like that. So yeah,
Uh, it's hard writing a script. It's really hard.
yes, it is. Other than that, I'd say music as far as performing, because I play bass, and I actually kind
What?
of this year, yeah,
Do you
I
ever
was
play Rocksmith?
I have Rocksmith. I was an orchestra kid in middle
Why
school, so I
don't what?
played. Okay, I played the bass violin, the double bass
Yeah.
in orchestra, and then I played a little bit in college, and I later got a bass guitar. And Rocksmith brought me back into playing bass guitar, and I haven't played it recently, but
I had no idea.
yeah, I haven't played it in months. But I've got my capture card back. I should probably stream some Rocksmith, but
Yeah.
I'm like okay at best. But I really want to. I want to get a keyboard so I can start learning piano. I've always wanted to play
I
piano.
I want to learn piano. I actually really want to learn guitar cuz I want to learn like acoustic guitar cuz
Hmm.
we have Rocksmith. I bought it for husband cuz he has a bass.
Yeah,
And I want to learn guitar because I feel like it would I don't want to say easy, but I feel like it would be something I could pick up because percussion, like I was a drummer, and so
yeah.
it's essentially drumming on strings, right? Like that's what a guitar is. So I really want to learn guitar, and I want an acoustic, not an electric. I want like an electric acoustic, essentially.
I had an acoustic, but like in orchestra, they put me on cello at the time, and
Mm-hmm.
then I was overreaching because my hands were too big. So they're like, "Well, we'll put you on bass as a tryout temporarily." 7 years later, I'm still temporarily playing bass. Um, but I like bass because it's a versatile instrument because you can play anything from rock to jazz to whatever, which
Yeah.
is why I want to learn piano. So
And if you've got big hands, you should not have a hard time picking up the piano because piano, like my hands are not very big. I would never be able to really play piano well,
yeah,
which is a lot of the problem most women have because our hands do tend to be smaller. And like the stuff from Bach, Mozart, Chopin, like they require a much wider uh, hand movement because their hands were larger.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
um,
I've reached on acoustic guitar. Like I can't play guitar without a pick, which I can't really play at all. But I have to have a pick because I just overreach on the strings too much.
yeah, that's cool. I didn't know you played that, so that's kind of neat. It's
Yeah.
nice to learn. Um, so where and when can we find you streaming?
You can find me on my channel at twitch.tv/BruceWaynebrady. Every Monday, we do our fight stream. Our fight stream is called Maple Night Fights because on Twitter, uh, hashtag Maple Monday, we shout out Canadian streamers. And if you're wondering why Canadian streamers, this started a while back. We just happened to realize we had a lot of friends who were Canadian that streamed. And I like alliteration because I'm a nerd. I like words and putting words
I
together. I
like
was like,
alliterations too.
yeah, so Maple Monday just made sense to me. And so that became a thing. And then our fight stream became Maple Night Fights. Um, that's every Monday from 6 to 9 Eastern Time. We usually play two different fighting games. We always end with Dragon Ball because Dragon Ball is so popular and there's so many of us that have it. And the fights are insane and we have fun. And then on the weekends, I stream single player games, which I'm working on Kingdom Hearts 3 right now. So I'll be
Nice.
working on my backlog this year and trying to not buy more games and add to it, but we'll see what happens with that.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. I had a blast chatting with you.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me. I'm very honored, and girl streamers and this whole community, y'all are amazing, and y'all are very inspirational for everything we do with streaming and with Unified. A lot of, like you said, a lot of people here in both groups. So I really appreciate everyone listening and hanging out and watching and participating with this interview. It's been really fun.
Well, I really, really appreciate it. Guys, don't forget, this has been a Girl Streamer podcast. Thank you for listening. Girlstreamers is partnered with Loot Crate, Simple Jerky, UN Racing Chairs, Glomtom, Sennheiser, and Humble Bundle. Links to all these amazing people are down below, so please feel free to click. Please follow us at Girlstreamers on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. If you have any questions or would like more information, you can visit our website at girlstreamers.com and contact us through there. You can subscribe to us on Twitch, and don't forget, when you do subscribe, you do get access to our Discord fan channel, and you can buy some super cool gear in our online shop at designbyhumans.com/shop/girlstreamers. You can find Bruce on Twitter at Brucewaynebrady. That is BruceWanebrady, and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BruceWanebrady. That's BruceWanebrady. Our next podcast will be March 17th with Lady Goggles right here, same time. This podcast is a part of the Two Lazy Dogs Media Group and the Girlstreamers community. Encourage, support, grow.